Hi, Privyet Sincha, Ohio. Welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. This is the reactions. I've never played this game, so we shall see what to expect. Alrighty. And hola. I sprechen Sie Deutsch. Have you played the Stanley Parable before? No. Adjust the slider. And it is 4:46. Alrighty. Fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be a very smooth ride. Never the end is never the end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright. So I'm not the best with the keyboard either, not quite yet. So bear with me here, guys. Hello?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Am I the manager now?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What What if I enter the door on the right?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Maybe I wanted a deer net. Or a crumpet. Hello? Hello?
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Very nice. Nice chairs.
Yeah. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh my gosh. Oh, can I go back? I'm sorry. That is hilarious. Okay. Stanley's a rebel.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Is it a dog? Whoa. Who goes there? You want me to enter this room? Alright.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Well, I have no option now.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Alrighty. Alright, Rebel Stanley. Now we have to go back. Oh, okay, we're gonna go see what happens.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
That is hilarious. Alright, let's use that leftover. I was just curious, man.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright. Let's go to the left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve dispute with a... Oh, I would love to know how to do that. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on... Hey! I wasn't done. You most of all. Why, thank you. Cool pie chart. Number of slides in the slide. I thought he was going to say take the slide and throw it at the coworker, but... That's a better idea. Bad advice 101. Rate increase in graphics per slide. Please no more. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Circle the top 20 things you love about your boss. Huh. Solving interpersonal conflict. What? You're the kind of person who right? Wow! What are your dreams for the future? Snowboarding. Yes. Tips for not getting fired. Choose the left door. Talk less. It's funny. Let it all ball up inside of you. That's pretty funny. Alright, I think I saw them all. Broom closet. I didn't know you could actually try to open the doors. That's awesome. Can I close it? No.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
How does he know that? How does he know? Where is this narrator guy? Whoa. Fancy. Door on the left, right. Alrighty. Looks like we're in a new area. We must be in part of England. It looks very fancy. Alright, governor, now we're in Ireland.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Please speak clearly into the receiver.
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I don't think I can get any closer to the computer. Nightshark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yes.
You didn't mishear me, did you?
No.
Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Whoops. Oh, right. What happens if I go to the right door? What's gonna happen? The same thing? What happens if I go to the right door? Alright, let's see. Oh, okay, one more time. Oh God, here we go. Ah. Then I shall go to the right door.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Too late for what? Whoa, what's that coating on it? Whoa. It's all back. Oh. I see how it is. Everything's all messed up too, the paintings. Please hold if you guys need an intermission or need to use the restroom, or just need to do whatever you do. Cool. That's so cool. All right, give me 1 second before I continue this Rebel Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back from all over the world and the galaxies and the cosmos and the Amazon jungle and the rainforest and mythological creatures of all sorts. Anything is welcome here, all imagination, all creativity. Don't forget to check out LGOG Gamer, the only reason for why I'm here today. Now what we're going to do is to begin the beginning. Again, that was LGOG Gamer. Do not be afraid. Now we're going to start this over. We're going to start this over following the rules and not being curiosity. Now let's see what happens when we do the right thing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I see we have a mythological creature in the room. What mythological
When Stanley
creature
came
are
to a
you,
set of
sir?
2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Mr. Tootie Toot. Ah. Alright, we're following the rules. Here we go, here we go.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Wow, that does sound like business. Oh, I can open the door now.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Wow, it looks just like work. That's wild.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Tiger wolf things, my bob. Alright. I think you meant to say bro. Tiger wolf, my bob. Alright. Here we go, here we go. We're doing the right thing. Oh, wow.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
The narrator told me. Who does the narrator work for? Oh. Fancy wine.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Is that a hint?
2845.
It sounds like he's getting mad. 2845. Don't get mad at me, man. I didn't go the other way. Oh. Oh. How do you go back? Oops.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Well, thank you for opening the door, narrator. Thank you, Mytho Tiger Wolf Thing Mabob. 2845, got it. I got it. It wouldn't let me type it in. What is this area? Jaw! Smash!
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So this is the first time I've able to play a game with headphones, and I look forward to playing some other games on here with headphones. It's gonna be awesome. Escape or Mind Control Facility. Oh my goodness. So I want to go escape, but I'm curious. I'll pass.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, but of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized, nope, still on board with death.
It's funny. Okay, let me just see what happens if I walk halfway. Nope, you're gonna shut the doors on me. I don't want to work forever in this business. Alright. Let's go this way. Alright. Oh no. I feel like I went to my death. Following, right. We're following orders. Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
And do all the things I'm not supposed to do and see what happens. Where are all the coworkers? I think we all know that place.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay, how do we set a nuclear bomb in this place? Oh. Hey, where'd my where'd my bridge? There's stairs. Do I jump? Oh.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Alright, let's do this. Let's blow this job.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
He's a rebel after all, no matter what I chose. Yes. This is blue light. Oh, it is disabled.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Yes. Well, you know what Stanley Rebel does. I mean, I'm not keeping that thing on. Smash! Oh, I missed. Smash! Yes. Oh, smash! Yeah.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine! Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
And Stanley knew true happiness. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never. Say that 10 times fast. What? Ah! Ah! Go back.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Alright, so there's multiple endings to this game. It looks like that was one of them.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
They went to Six Flags without me. They could have at least left a funnel cake. I hate Mondays. You play the game over and over, you start to notice more details.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, so I can do Rebel Stanley or Good Stanley and then decide to keep the machine on. Or I can do Rebel Stanley and jump off the side. Alright, okay. So, chat, should I do Rebel Stanley or Good Stanley? Left or right? Oh, jump? Jimp? You want me to jimp, sir? That would be the right door. That's the Rebel Stanley, where he has a choice to jump instead of becoming a mind control. Alright, Mr. Tootie Toot. What does it? I will take the long jump. Alright, here we go.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh, that's the door that I didn't go in earlier. Oh, my curiosity is getting better. Oh, well, I know what that way goes. Well.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I don't want to go to the mind control facility. Run! Get out of here! Quickly! Take that.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
You always say left. I'm gonna check the other doors. I'm trust the narrator guy. Alright. Smash!
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Oh, I knew it. Oops. A parachute? No, I think you just jump. He said earlier.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Who are
It's
you?
clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Yes, because you said keys.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
This way? Oh. Ah! Okay. Alright. Remain calm at all times. Can I get in the car? Relax, bro. What are you doing, man?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Alrighty. Okay, let's not get...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Beans, bro. Alright, so curiosity just leads me...
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
Ooh,
Let's find the story.
Let's do what we were gonna do to begin with, even if all the doors are open. Rebel Stanley sticks to his plans. What? The room changed. Wait a minute. Now I know what hamsters feel like. Whoa. Let's. So, wait a minute. Can I move this?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Aw.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I like work. I just hate my boss. Yeah, this narrator guy is my best friend.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
There. When age hits you, you gotta lean back. Alright. Let's do this thing. Oh, who did that? Couldn't even pick it up. What's wrong with people? Oh, now everything's backwards. Okay,
Aha!
there it is.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
All right. This is really messing with my mind. This is cool. Okay. What? Whoa. That was a little bit creepy.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Let's see what time it says in here. 9:50.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
I'm still going to go through the different doors.
You see, the line knows where the story is.
Whoa.
It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Whoa.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Taking a mental snapshot here. It's a very special fern. Okay, now I'm wondering what the fern is.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Ooh, this room door's open. Oh no.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Yeah, the narrator's got a rad playlist. He's also the narrator in Little Big Planet.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
That's funny.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Whoa. That noise was a little wild. Yes. You are the
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
It takes time, my friend. It takes time. Valuable time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right. So LGOG Gamer is offering me a hint. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Take one more crack.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope. I was supposed to go in the other door. How did I end up following orders? Alright, we're gonna restart.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Now I'm curious who it was on the phone. Should I restart?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Oh, the paintings are different. Oh no, wait, no.
2845. Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Well, hello, LGOG Gamer. The main reason for why I'm here. Check out LGOG Gamer, guys. I'm a little bit tired, but we're still doing very good here. No worries. Check it out. Once again, don't forget to check out LGOG Gamer, guys. Check out the channel. Subscribe. Don't be afraid. Whoops. Two. Oh, it's gonna let me do it? Okay. Come on. Come on. Two. Oh, man. 28. 2. 2. There we go. 8. Oh, man. Okay, this is really difficult. It's very difficult with the hidden letters. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. without a certain point. Ah, we'll head that way. I'm still curious. Next time I'm gonna put 2-8. It was 2-8-3-4, right? Let me try it again. 2 8. I got 8. It's 3-4 or 4-5. Alright, here we go. Ah, so close. Okay, 2's here. 2 8 4. Got it. Oh. Oh, I guess I should have did that earlier already. Just kidding. Oh, I see. You're gonna take me back to the
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Sweet. Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Not if I fight back.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his
Nobody in the
death.
building, would you walk through here? All dark red hallways like that? Would you do that? Would you do that in real life? That would be pretty, invincible.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Skipping.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
That is brutal. Psych. I was saved by a lady. She was probably the one on the phone. She wants to keep me in her mind control palace. The Stanley Parable. I cannot see. Somebody turn on the light. Oh. Hello? Anybody there? Oh, just the box. Mr. Box. Dennis the Box. Hello? Anybody there? I'm just gonna...
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
You mean I'm in heaven? Oh, where's the sushi? get anything you want in heaven. I want my sushi. Where's my sushi? I don't want to work in an office. That would suck if you die and you have to work in an office. Oh, heaven's a different ending. Ooh, I can choose up to 5 different endings and turn off all these computers. Oh, I wish I could play that game. I'm gonna turn them off. Maybe I should just leave it. No more rebel. Can't read what that says. Oh, it's a museum. I was just informed by LGOG Gamer. This is a museum. This is not the heaven. It's bright white added. Oh, it's the credits. Alright. Alright, chat, what number should I pick? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Hello? Hello? 3? We should do 3. Alrighty. Let's settle then. We'll do 3. In 5, 2, 1, 4, 3. I can only count to 4. I can count to 4. Ooh, for a minute I thought it was gonna be a picture of me smashed. This is a really nice area though, I like it. It's cool. War zone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sediment and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of game. Plus, some people interrupted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Well, I like a lot of shooter games, so this one's pretty interesting. I don't really like to judge a game until it's over. After the second trailer, we sent out and asked people to email the narrator for questions where they had initially planned to use these further promotional materials. We never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of these emails. I wonder if these are real emails. That's a real email. The narrator guy, I have a question for you, sir, and it is, what is your message for today? So the narrators, no. Huh. There are more skeletons in this world than humans? That's funny. That's what I thought. How did you find me? Will the game feature capybaras? Well, rude comments. All along. That was from Invader Zim, in case you guys did not get that reference. The objective was, that's a little creepy. Man, I really want to play a spooky, scary game on this now. especially with these headphones. So right now I'm just kind of exploring. This is more of like, this is more of the character's choice of ending. Like, I can just kind of run through it and look around instead of viewing everything, but most of the time I like to look at the game itself and see what the designer did. But for the most part, it seems like any correct ending is the mind
Let's
control
see.
facility.
Stanley walked through the green door. Stanley pushed the
You can
orange
always
lever.
ask LGOG Gamer also if you have any questions.
Red button.
Did you say the
Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't.
Oh, that was just the narrator building. Alright. I'm gonna go upstairs. Did we go through there yet? No. Oh, and here's the cargo lift. Meeting room. It's pretty wild. I like the way the shoes sound on the wood. Oh. Well, what do you know?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your own.
Okay, so LG Gamers already played this before. It's just me, by the way. I'm just sending little messages. So, if I continue, will I die? Will it show anything? It just goes black and start over. Right, so we're gonna do, so I think Rebel Stanley's explored enough, and now he's about to die. So we're gonna do this from the beginning and do it the right way, and that's also following the mind control facility, which quite possibly could get us back outside. I'm unsure. I'm not being told all the details. This way I can play. This way I can play freely, since I haven't played it myself. So here we go. We're going back to the beginning. In the beginning. All right. Why does the beginning look like this? The room wasn't blue at first.
Decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Welcome to the whiteboard ending. Dog home. Wolf.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor did it when Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Definitely can't open that.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Always go upstairs.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
We're okay, Stanley. Ah! Where are the people? Where are the animals? Where's out?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, man. That was a little spooky. When you got headphones...
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh my gosh. She just left him there. That's... like, I kind of see where she's talking about, but at the same time, like, dang. But it's true, though. The people you surround yourself with are
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
or that green font.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No. Oh, do I need to hit that arrow?
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Come by. See what happens if I go back. I wonder how far you can go back. Oh no. Oh, I wonder if I have to put yes now. Oh, I think I do. I don't think I have an option. Oh. Oh yeah, I have to restart the entire game. Well, that was an interesting ending. I'd like to see anybody else get to this ending. Good luck to you, Stanley Parable fans. Oh. Huh. I looked at that YouTube video and I was like, wait, somebody else is doing it, but that's me. Whoops. All right, time to restart. Now, is this gonna be like the real beginning of the game, or? Ah, okay. Sweet. Now we can do this the right way. Yep. All right.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, well, if it's on the left. Wait a minute. I wanted to jump that thing earlier. What happened to me? Why am I following directions?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
The broom closet's still shut. I'm taking a chance. I'm doing the other door.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Dang.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Alrighty. Alright, so I've restarted.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Stop jumping, Stanley. Jeez, your life's not that bad.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Great, guys. We're doing great.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
I see. There's other places to walk. Okay. So I can't do this.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story...
jumping. I think Stanley's a frog.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Jump on somewhere, there's somewhere to land. Can I land?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
There's somewhere.
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in...
Cool, okay. Right on, thanks, LGOG Gamer.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright, so I got a bit of...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Is the narrator friend or not? What do you guys think?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Alright, you have one chance. Don't screw it up.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh. He said it is important, and I'm supposed to trust him. Alright, I'll give him one chance. And then I'm going to restart the game, and I'm not going to trust him ever again. But I like blue. I don't like red. I always give one chance. You better not screw this up, narrator. Or I'll have you off with your head. Yeah, I really want blue. I like blue. I don't really care for blue. But I mean, he's my friend. Okay, the reality of this, I can do this level again. So, chat thinks no. So I should go with blue, right? Right? Right. Type faster! I should totally go with blue. I seriously want to do blue. I like blue. And a small part of me does not trust the narrator. Oh, right. I forgot. Sorry, chat. I forgot. It's a little delayed. I shall wait. I'm gonna sit here and wait for a second The way he tricks you with the yes and no. Well, okay, I'm going to go with blue because that's what I want to do. If I had to do what the narrator wanted to do. I wonder what's in the blue hallway. Plus, I can always go back. And this game is Rebel Stanley, not Follow Directions Stanley. Remember, that's the one we're doing. I almost forgot. Thanks for reminding me. Look behind me! I bet they move every time I look. Every time I turn around, they move. They're following me everywhere. Keep your eyes peeled. They're everywhere. Blue door it is.
Aha! Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
You narrator. And the light got darker. Alright.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Alright. Rad. Thank you.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Oh no. Oh no. Is that the squished room? What is this place? Oh.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
No, I'll go through the left door, just like I was told. Now I don't trust you. Oh! Cool. That is wild.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Definitely. I'd say a 4. Just because I could do stuff.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Worldwide leaderboard? Am I on there? Are we on there? Oh, too fast. Did you know that 21.3% of players skipped the intro sequence? Oh wow. Oh wow, whoa. Oh wow, I'm last. Is that 7 hours? 7 minutes. Oh wow, that's bogus. Alright. What happens if I go through the left door again? Or the right? I'm just curious. One more time. Let's see what happens.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
No.
Again, honest answers, please.
Definitely.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Look, I would have
Let's
saved
see.
the dog.
What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
The narrator is really mad.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Open the door.
Oh, no, it can't be.
Oh. I hear the birds. Oh. Can I just go anywhere? Rad. I don't know what that is over there. I don't really know. Something over there looks really weird. Oh, is this a sign? Cool, let's see what happens if we go over there.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Intermission? Okay.
Wonderful.
Have you seen this
See, this is exactly what I had in mind.
Oh, wow.
Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh god. Oh, it is Rocket League. That's hilarious. It's kind of like it. And in case you haven't seen that game, Rocket League is basically like two cars and you're playing soccer the entire time. But there's like all sorts of different tactics and directions that you can do in that game. It's really, really fun. And you can decorate your car and stuff. Yeah. Whoa, that is giant.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
Sweet. Let's get one in soccer.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley?
Yes.
Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you'd like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Goodbye, mate. Whoever built this line is like, they did a great job. Oh. Sorry, guys. I'm snacking. Sorry, it's been a minute. Let's see what happens if I enter the hole. Oh, there it is, right there. I told you it was Rocket League. That game is so fun. I hear you. Dun, 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 dun.
Hold on. What are you doing?
Being a rebel.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back. You still have so much.
I feel like a kid who got lost in Toys R Us from his father. Yeah. Wow. I wonder what the makers were thinking when they designed this game. That's pretty wild. Whoa. Wow. I still wonder where all the people went. So Stanley's passed out on the floor. And he's going through this in his own head. Alright, I need to remember where I go. This is 509. 510. Okay, that was the beginning. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here it goes again. 508, 507. Wait, huh? Intermission, guys. 1 second. Stay cool. Cool your beans. Don't let them burn. Oh. Alright. Hi, hello, konnichiwa, watashi wa no naomateru su. Good morning and good night. And good evening to some of those around the world. And the galaxies and the Amazon rainforest and underwater, wherever you're at. Good evening. We take no judgment here. Alrighty, now that we've had a little refresher with a few good crumpets. Alright, let's see where we were at. Let's explore just a little bit more. See if the narrator gave up on us. We were at 508, 507. Here we are. Aha, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Here we go. There we are. It looks like we have the power. Wow, this room strangely reminds me of BioShock.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it, down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Can you jump? Can you jump? Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Restart it. Whoa.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That door is different. Executive. Whoa, I won't go in there. Have you ever been in there? Just peek. Don't go all the way in. Whoa. One more. So we don't get locked. Oh, sweet. So we have 2 more. Cool.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
There's no PCs on this side, is there?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. the meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
And to those who just woke up or going to bed, LGOG Gamer is my hope through this playoff. So the narrator never mentions anything when you're stuck in there? Oh wow. We do it again. We still didn't answer that phone. Oh, it does do the same thing. That's funny.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But it's true though. I wonder what the memo was. And I wonder how you get in that one.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
It was okay. That's something new.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yes, I will sit. Ah, yes.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Coffee nut.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
The Royal Reverse Disclaims Club. Meeting of Internal Revenue Analysts for Committees.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Is that going to be the green phone? The one we didn't answer?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Freedom.
Ooh, cool.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy. No, wait. Where are you going? Right. Where were we?
Restarted, but haven't went through it. Like, did you go through the door?
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
Stream, it is time to exit. I will not tell you where I'm going because the never end is never the end, and the never the end is never the end. Until next time, see ya.